Hi guys, welcome back. Scatlink here, and we're off for more of what it says on the screen. In the last episode, we made it all the way to the Deku tree, and we learned what we have to do. And in this episode, the reason why I'm starting it a little bit differently is because I never showed on what you normally see on your file screen to begin with. Going into your file, of course, there's only 9 character limits, but my name clearly fits in. Actually, no, I think there's an 8, never mind. But, as you can see, there's 3 numbers on your total screen, as well as all your quest status, pretty much, all rolled into one here. We've obviously got the 3 usual heart containers that we normally start when we start a new game, but we also have these 3 numbers. This is your death counter, remember that. Basically, every time that you save after getting a game over, this number will increase by 1, and yes, it can hold up to 999 deaths. The worst I've ever seen the number go up to is 5 for me, and 0 for pretty much anyone else, and that was my first time playing the game, and that was like 10 years ago or so. So, now we can start this game proper, and I must also tell you about where you start. Just like the norm in the Zelda games before except for Link's Awakening and after. Okay, let me just. What am I trying to say here? Basically, when you're young Link, just saying that right now, when you save outside of dungeons, you always start in your house. And if you save in dungeons, you start at the beginning of a dungeon. You never start in an area which you would normally start in, like in Twilight Princess, because that game was too new. But yes, basically we're going to have to walk all the way back to the Deku tree. You know, it's not that far. It does get a little bit less forgiving, though, at certain points. Like, if you have to go all the way to, like... Basically, if you want to save somewhere, go into a dungeon or something and just use that as a checkpoint. It'll save you a lot less hassle and faffing around just trying to get back to where you were. Get out of my way, Deku Bubbers. Oh yeah, and in the last episode I forgot to show off some of Navi's abilities in Z targeting, because some of them didn't exist in any possible way in Twilight Princess, so we're going to have to go into that. So, into the tutorial dungeon we go, prepare for Navi Rage. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm a little bit forgiving for Navi, considering that I played Skyward Sword, and that tutorial nonsense is a lot worse, and 5 times the amount of screen text there is just to get past certain stuff. 98% probability that you're going to be able to do this flawlessly, I don't know. But anyway, we get our first items here, which are Deku Nuts. Most consider this the most crappiest item in the game. Set it to C and try throwing it. It will flash and stun the enemy. Yeah, these are pretty much flash grenades if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan. They're pretty useless in game because there's a lot of other weapons that can do the same thing, like the boomerang, which we'll get later on. But yeah, it's kind of a useless item. But not as useless as people might think. Navi's just trying to hassle me, saying, go into first person and look below this thing, but I'm not going to do that because I already know what to do. Because I played this game so many times, it's unreal. So basically, we just want to ascend. We've got no map here, not even a makeshift map, because we don't have the map. So we're going to have to go grab the map. And where would be the map? Well, the map might be around here. Look at this wall, the vines growing on it give it a rough surface. Maybe you can climb it, Scatlink. Well, it's not that clear, I guess, but I already knew that, so whatever. Speaking of the map anyway, after Navi interrupted us, that's going to happen quite a lot in this dungeon, so just bear with that. For those of you, select few who haven't played this game before, you found the dungeon map. Pretty much the same as what we had in Twilight Princess, just check that. Let's play if you want. Basically, instead of green rooms, we now have blue rooms. The flashing blue room is what we're in, solid blue rooms are the rooms we've been into, and the rooms that just have a faint red outline, a black outline are rooms that we haven't been into yet. And even though the dungeon looks pretty big, it's not. I mean, the main room that we're in right now spans 3 floors, and each of those have like 1 room there, 2 rooms there, and a handful of rooms there, and that's the single room. So it's not really that much. Okay, just making sure I haven't missed anything. Even though there's not really much that you can miss at this point. I'm just making sure that I have adequate supplies. I think at maximum at this point you can only carry up to 20 Deku Nuts, so go nuts on stocking up if you want. Yes, I know how to use the action button. If it says open, I will open the door, Navi. Give me a break. Seriously, even in Master Quest you have to listen to that, and the way to unlock Master Quest in the 3DS version is pretty much exactly the same. It's like, The way to unlock Master Quest is to beat the game. Anyway, this is a Deku scrub. You got to use your shield to block. I'm talking about other stuff while I'm trying to do other things. LOL, please forgive me, Master, if I give you a clue when you let me go. When you jump off a higher cliff, you can hold forward, and you will roll on the ground when you land, and won't get hurt from the fall. I can't guarantee it'll work, though, if the cliff is really, really high. Well, try it if you are feeling bold. Oh, bloody hell. Basically, with Deku Scrubs, the usual syndrome, you just want to block them, basically deflect them with your shield. Obviously, there's no shield attack in this game, it's just automatic, so that's all well and good. Some shields can't do that, though, at certain points, so just keep that in mind. What I was saying about the, what was I talking about beforehand? I've kind of lost my trail of thought here. I'll talk about it in a second. For now, though, we're going to get another item. Yeah, this dungeon's very short. Do-do-do-do! You found the fairy slingshot. On the item select subscreen, you can set it to blah-de-blah-de-blah. Press C to take it out and hold it. As you hold C, you can aim with it with control stick. But because this is the 64, it's not exactly going to be the most smoothest of things. Release to unleash a Deku Seed, which is your ammo for this weapon. If you want to shoot right away, when you first press C, hold down a little longer to get a seed ready. And, wow, nice camera angle game. Like, right in the chest, so I get like a black screen. I'll have this on down. I'm a little bit pedantic. Wow, I was actually right on the metal girder. So, to get out of this room... Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about with Navi. If you lock onto something, of course, you can press up, and you get like a quick bio on what to do. If highlighted green, it will talk about... Basically, if it's green, it will give you a little description of something. If it's yellow, it's a bio and an enemy, and if it is blue, it's just an NPC to talk to, and you won't get any information from Navi. Look, there's something hanging up there. It looks like an old ladder. That is true, but not only is that little bit pointless, what is not pointless is able to target, so you don't even need to go into first person to shoot it down. And if you cannot, you cannot handle this because it's a little jerky, and with the dazzle input lag a little bit more prominent on the 64, I'm gonna have to put up with that for a little bit longer. So yeah, what was I saying about, oh yeah, I already talked about the shield deflecting nonsense, whatever. So yeah, oh yeah, I killed that thing, didn't I? Okay, whatever. Chopping down the bushes, we want to go grab some Deku Seeds just to get that tutorial out of the way. And of course at this time they don't drop it, that's pretty odd, they normally drop. And that kind of grass does grow back pretty quickly without having to respawn them by leaving and coming back into the room, so that's all well and good. Sorry if I sound a little bit monotonous, but you know, it's a tutorial, bleh. I'm scatting here. Okay, whatever. Boom! A little bit of a delay there. What can I say? Oh, Decanats, I want those. Sorry, I'm a bit pedantic on having a full inventory at this point. Call it OCD if you want, but with these skull wall tillers, I believe just like in Twilight Princess, if they see you, they're gonna glow purple or pink and they're gonna fly at you. Like that. If you get out of their range, they will not hit you and... Thanks! Wow, I was just trying to demonstrate something there, obviously taking a bit of stupid damage, but hey, it helped me up, so that was kind of good. And we've only been in this dungeon for 10 minutes, and I'm already halfway through it. Whoopity hoopity. So yeah, you're just pressing buttons to activate stuff, manipulate the level and everything. Want to open this so we can get introduced to another item, because it's a big chest. They're literally handing everything out to you on the silver platter on this one. But what do you expect? It's the first 3D Zelda game, so of course. You found the compass, blah de blah de blah. The red arrow is where you've been. The yellow arrow, the yellow arrow is where you are. Deku Seeds are pretty much your ammo for slingshots. If it's highlighting green, like I said in the last episode, that means you're maxed out. Kill you. And we're going to get into our first collectible coming up in a minute, so we're going to have to deal with that. Yeah, but anyway, with the skull wall tillers, that's what they're called. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, so if I call them skull tillers, they're pretty much what they are. They're just smaller versions of the big ones. You want to take them out if possible. Right, now, we can't... This door is not going to open because of the button that we press, so you want to light this stick by walking into the fire and then bring it to this old torch that Nappy will tell you if you lock onto it and do something. But if a stick is lit on fire too long, it's going to burn, and I can't lock onto this anymore, so I kind of missed my opportunity, but whatever. Okay, hop, skip, and a jump here. I want to avoid you, so I'll just use the old first-person trick to get my jump accurate. There we go, because sometimes when an enemy is around, Z-targeting to center the camera back at you is not exactly the best plan, and it's humping the wall. Look at that. You enjoying that, buddy? Too bad, you're going to hell. You can see that I do not like them. They do jump out at you sometimes. Even the most basic enemies can give you trouble. Recovery heart, kind of pointless, but I needed it. And welcome to what I referenced in Twilight Princess. I was about to say Skyward Sword then, but that would be incorrect. Gold Skulltillas! I am not going to sugarcoat it. There are 100 of these things in the game. And they are a bitch to collect sometimes. They're pretty easy to collect, they're just hard to find most of the time. There are 100 of these, and I might as well just say right now, on the name of a map, like inside the Deku tree, or if we were in the the Overworld map and we were highlighted Kokiri Forest, it will say in the bottom box down there, Kokiri Forest, like where the compass is saying right now. If you've got all the gold Skulltillas in the location, you will see an image appear, image of a gold Skulltilla token, which is this symbol, right next to the name that you cannot highlight. If you see that image next to the map title, that means you have all gold Skulltillas in that area and you do not need to worry about it. Like I said, there's 100 in the game. There is a prize for every 10 gold Skulltillas, up to 50, and then you got to get the last half of the amount, which is another 50 to get 100 for the last final prize. I'm not going to spoil what they are, just in case those few of you haven't played the game, because I'm trying to be unspoilerific with this as much as possible, but if I get carried away, I apologise, because you know, it's a game that everybody should have played. You want to just plummet and go right through this web. If you do not do it correctly, you're going to have to climb all the way back to the top. And congratulations, you've already made it halfway through this tutorial dungeon. Yeah, it was really hard, wasn't it? So whatever. Right, so first of all I want to take this one. There's two gold Skulltillas right next to each other, so they're being really generous at this point. But funnily enough, when we get to a certain point, I'll let you know. And, whoa, I almost faced through the wall there. I never tried doing that. Obviously, once again, I'm going to try some new stuff to see if I can bug out the game on like, demand or something. I almost did right there. So we got another gold Skulltilla. That's the second one out of 100. Joy. I must say it isn't the most funnest thing. It's pretty much like the Poe Souls of Twilight Princess. It's not exactly the most funnest thing to do, but it's got to be done for 100%, you know. Because I know a few people online, well, I know a few YouTubers and Let's Players online that like say, I'm going to get 100%, but I'm not going to be bothering about the gold Skulltilla tokens because the reward for getting it is just pointless and it's not required for 100%. Not true. I mean, obviously they do grab like half of them to get the necessary prizes, but it's not considered 100% if you don't get everything. Because I'm pedantic like that, I'm going to go for 100%. A true 100%. So otherwise it's going to be classified as 90% of me. I'm just that awkward. And I'm starting to repeat myself by saying awkward adult. It's like when I say whatever all the time. It seems to be a thing. And I'm not going to go about things which I got sidetracked with in Luigi's Mansion. Oh, what am I doing? Blech. Getting so caught up on my commentary here, I'm forgetting about this chest and torch that we just freed. No worries though, it's just another recovery heart, but like I said, for 100% reasons like in Twilight Princess, every chest needs to be open. Even though it may be pointless rupees. But at least in this game, if you do find rupees, and you have a full wallet, they're not going to be stored in the chest. Because even though it is a little bit helpful so you can reserve money, in the later Zelda games, well, like A Link Between Worlds, apparently the rupees are a lot more prominent so in the storyline, so you don't need to like store a lot of money and everything. Come on! Please forgive me, Master. I'll never do it again. If you spare me, I'll teach you something cool. The red ones that look similar to like these are called Mad Scrubs, and they are actual enemies. But these ones are like the tutorial NPCs to teach you about some different kind of puzzles that not used that often in the game, but they are kind of crafty and require a little bit more skill. You will never beat my brothers up ahead unless you punish them in the proper order. The order is 2, 3, 1. The old classic 23 is the number 1. Do you think I'm a traitor? Yes, actually. You giving me the code to get to the dungeon's boss is, yeah, making you kind of a traitor to the protector of this dungeon. Or what's causing the curse in the Deku Tree. And seriously, why does the Deku Tree have, like, all these rooms? I mean, who came into the Deku Tree's maw and, like, built all this? It's kind of weird. After you get into the water, you can hold down A and to dive. I bet there's some interesting things underwater. Yeah, this is actually kind of a helpful tutorial because people might think if they skip that, just press the A button and you'll dive. But no, you'll just do this little flip. If you hold the button, however, you will dive all the way. That number on the that on your action button is actually telling you how many meters you can swim downwards. Link can only dive 3 meters down at this point, so there's kind of a limit. As you can see here, I can just press the switch, and I kind of jumped there because the water was low when I was getting out of the water, so that was a little bit weird. But whatevs. Just want to jump on here, and then if you want to be just on the safe side, you can hold your shield and do this, but some people can actually just have this at normal height and backflip past it, which I have done before, but I don't want to show off just because of the risk of failing in the first dungeon. I might do it later. Because there's a reason for that, like I talked about you earlier, and come on! Dude, stop humping the ground, and he's stuck in the ground, isn't he? I can't get him. Snap out of it! What? Come on! That did not hit me. I do have good depth perception, but Nintendo 64 games aren't exactly known for the depth perception. Because sometimes it can trick you out, so do not get stuck this time, please. Dude, stop that. There, this time I got him. It didn't look like I hit him there, actually. Tutorial for pulling blocks. Thank you, Navi. I do not really need help with this. There's only a few times where Navi's helpful, but at least she's more helpful than Faye from Skyward Sword. If I ever do Skyward Sword, I'll let you know, but I'm trying to hold off on that until my cousin that has been putting it off of her first LP off for about 6 months now. There's a reason for that. I keep saying it's because she doesn't have a good enough laptop for the Dazzle to actually work. And any other recording device is going to be kind of crap anyway, because it's not going to show up. It's going to show up even worse. And hang on a second. Oh, it is at the very edge. Okay, that looked a bit weird for a second there. It looked like it could have gone a little bit further, but of course I'm mistaken. Sound like I'm being a noob at this point, but I'm beasting through. So shut up. I'm going to take you out because you're in the middle of the room and you can be an annoyance, so I'm just going to stab your face in like that. And where did I get my heart back? Don't remember. Must have got it from the Skulltilla I killed. Anyway, like this torch, like this torch. You got to light them both at once. So in order for the door to open, otherwise one of them's going to go out and you'll have to restart. Basic time limit puzzle. Already got a quarter of a wallet full because remember we can only carry up to 99 rupees. That was lucky. Right, now if you do not want to fight a certain enemy, there is a little trick you can do. Get out your slingshot and shoot these eggs. I'm not kidding. Excuse me. That hit you. There we go. Okay, I'll take out the next one, and I'll show the other one normally. Seriously, that hit you. I know where to aim. For people who have trouble aiming on this game, it's the middle of the screen. But you saw that. Oh, and by the way, if you have got ammo ready in any version other than the 3DS version, pressing A won't work. It will just put you back in a first person for some odd reason, so you're going to lose an ammo because of that. So if you're playing the 3DS version, good on you. I mean, obviously it's still got pretty much the same controls, but the gyro sensor helps on aiming immensely. It's one of my favourite upgrades. Anyway, this thing, I'm going to bio every enemy just to be sure that I don't miss anything. It's a Goma Lava. Look out when it gets ready to pounce. As you just saw there, not short, sweet, and to the point, it pounced at me, and if we notice the pattern, it only pounces on us when it glows red. That also means it's invincible, I believe so. So, you just want to take it out quickly, jump attack or one-shot it, if you're lucky enough. And there we go. Get rid of the cobwebs by burning them, because we can't exactly jump or shine spark in these at breakneck force. And put the stick away, I don't want it to be burnt, because they are really helpful against boss fights when you're struggling and you need to do some extra damage to end the fight quicker. Rolling's obviously... Oh, I've already talked about that, never mind. I'm getting carried away on my commentary here. Okay, put it away. Thank you. Okay. So, as we can see here, there is a wall here, and it seems to be just a pointless dead end. Not true. Listen. Well, that just makes a normal wooden noise, of course, but that doesn't sound normal. Listen to that noise again. That makes like a ting noise. Where as we hit something metal, which we can't, it'll make like a clang noise. I'll have to... Actually, this is a brick wall. I can show it off of this wall. Yeah. If it's a real wall, it'll make this noise. Oh no. It's still registered as wood. Okay then, even though it's clearly got a brick-like texture. Never mind then! God damn it. Always have to prove me wrong, game. I don't normally hit walls just for the hell of it, but of course I have to show everything. Can I hit this block? That noise means it's a real wall. Okay. Now I've proven that. Of course the game's making me look like a noob just because I'm getting things wrong when I'm trying to show things off because I know how to play the game and I don't normally do it in the first place, so, you know. Basically, to create a shortcut so you don't want to come back all the way again, as well as to progress, even though there are some speedrunning tactics that you can do without pushing this block all the way down, I'm going to do it just because of 100% sake, and because it's what you're supposed to do if you're not a speedrunner. And if I could do the speedrunner way, I would, but I'm not able to, so screw that idea. Jumpity! There we go. And then you just want to roll. Or you can crouch, that works as well. Right. Now, welcome to the final room of the dungeon already. Yeah, that went by so quickly, didn't it? Only in about 20 minutes, so that's awesome. Now, as we're in the final room of the dungeon, you might be thinking, have we got the gold skulltulas? No! Because, funnily enough, you might be thinking it's behind the bumble wall. It is, but we haven't got bombs yet, so funnily enough, in the first dungeon of the game, you're going to have to come back to beat it 100%. And there's also another little joke move that they did with the map in this dungeon, but I'll get to that later when we come back. So, the code, remember, is 23 number 1. There's 3 Deku scrubs here. 1, 2, 3 across the board. You want to hit the second one, and it will get weirdly paralysed, which you don't normally see in the game. It's the only time it happens. 23 is number 1. If you get it wrong, obviously, you have to hit all 3 of them in order for the puzzle to reset, but once you hit all 3 of them in the correct order... How did you know our secret? How irritating. It's so annoying that I'm going to reveal the secret of Queen Goma to you. In order to administer the coup de grace to Queen Goma, I like the little bit of French there, like for little audiences that are trying to learn new languages that they would teach at school. Strike with your sword while she's stunned. Oh, Queenie, sorry about that. And he drops a recovery heart in case if you sucked at blocking them and you already used all 3 hearts in water. But I don't need it, so I'm just going to take it anyway, just for lols, because I love Haribo hearts. They're just so delicious and jelly. And we are in the boss of the dungeon already. And yes, you do not require a boss key. That empty space on the map, it's not needed. Who gives a crap? Oh, that will change soon. But it's not that big of an issue. So yeah, basically the tutorial dungeons technically do not need boss keys. It's just a puzzle instead. So, what we need to do is go into first person to find the boss and just stare at it for a bit. I'll divide you in 2! Parasitic armoured arachnid, Goma. Well, we don't have arrows, so what do? Well, what do you have to say, Navi? Goma, it's one of the parasitic monsters inside the Deku tree. Its eye is vulnerable when it's red. Thank you, Navi. I'll just snipe it in the eye when it's red. Jump attack and slash it. Now, a little tip when it comes to attacking. When it comes to attacking with your sword, there's a little bit of a glitch. If you do a jump attack and then instantly hold R, get out with Z. Well, if you're Z/L targeting and jump attack, and then you let go and crouch and then keep stabbing, well, the jump attack transfers its power. Well, if you do the crouch stab, basically whatever move you used last is transferred to your next attack. And if you're stabbing, it does continuous damage. And look at that! 2 rounds I killed Goma already. It's that easy. If you do not shoot her out of the air, she'll drop more Goma lava that you have to deal with. kind of annoying, but this boss is way too easy for me, as you can clearly see. And the spin attack is pretty good as well to use against her, because you hit her at least twice every spin, which is pretty much equivalent to one jump attack anyway. Obviously, a boss in true Zelda fashion drops a heart container. As you can see, I can spin attack pretty quickly, which is awesome. And that's how I prefer to take bosses out. And you gained a heart container. Your maximum life energy is increased by 1 heart. Your life energy will also be totally filled. Totally filled. And we've beaten the first dungeon of the game already in 1 episode. And even if I was stuck to the 50-minute time limit, that would only take 2. So, I'm going to perform another glitch. Z target / L targeting while holding up your shield, and you'll just have your shield equipped without your sword. It's not really a glitch. And it works in the 3DS version as well, so meh. And there we go. Well done, Scatlink. I don't feel so well with my gaping maw. That looks pretty creepy, to be perfectly honest. Thou hast verily demonstrated thy courage. I knew that thou wouldst be able to carry out my wishes. Now, I have yet more to tell ye. Wilt thou listen? Funnily enough, if you say no in the original quest of any version of this game, it will be counted as yes with an extra text box. It's kind of pointless, so it's unskippable. But if you're playing the Master Quest version on the 3DS, no will actually allow you to skip it, even though you still have to go through all the tutorials like it's your first time through. Weird. But yeah, this is the 64, the very first version, so we can't skip it. Even if it was the GameCube version of the Master Quest, we couldn't skip it, so meh. Now, listen carefully. A wicked man in the desert cast this dreadful curse upon me. And now we're going to get some epic cinematics for the rest of this episode. And yeah, I was planning this episode to be about 25 minutes long, but of course we're going to have to go over because of this cutscene. Oh well. I'm ending it pretty much right after this anyway, so you can skip this if you want. You can just go to the next episode straight away if you want. This evil man ceaselessly uses his vile sorcerous powers in his search for the sacred realm that is connected to Hyrule. For it is in that sacred realm that one will find the divine relic, the Triforce, which contains the essence of the gods. Before time began, before spirits and life existed, the Big Bang Theory, the 3 goddesses, descended upon chaos that was Hyrule. No one heard the Big Bang Theory. What are they talking about? It's gods, of course. Din, the goddess of power. Science has nothing to do with this. Nehru, the goddess of wisdom. Magic rules all. And Foray, the goddess of courage. They're naked god figures from the Oscar Awards. Sonic Boom. I'm just narrating what is happening on screen right now. Din. With her strong flaming arms, she cultivated the land and created the Red Earth. Nehru poured her wisdom onto the earth and gave Spirit of Law to the world, using spectacular effects for 64 standards. And where we are right now, Foray, with her rich soul, produced all life forms who would uphold the law. I'm not feeling too well. You could tell because I had a curse put upon me and everything. The 3 great goddesses, their labours completed, departed for the heavens. And golden sacred triangles remained at the point where the goddesses left the world. Since then, the sacred triangles have become the basis of our world's providence. And the resting place in the triangles has become the sacred realm. Thou must never allow the desert man in black armor to lay his hands on the sacred Triforce. Thou must never suffer that man with his evil heart to enter the sacred realm of legend. The evil man who cast the death curse upon me and sapped my power. Because of that curse, my end is nigh. Though your valiant efforts to break the curse were successful, I was doomed before you started. Sorry for trolling you. Yes, I will pass away soon, but do not grieve for me. I've done my part in society. I have been able to tell you of these important matters. This is Hyrule's final hope. Oh god. I wonder why he was coughing all this time. Go now to Hyrule Castle, Scatlink. There, they'll most certainly meet the Princess of Destiny! Huzzah! Take this stone with you. The stone that man wanted so much that he cast the curse on me. And funnily enough, wasn't spoiled by any of the Kokiris and got past Mido without injuring him. Pretty weird, I know. It must be telekinesis or something. It's never explained. Even I don't know how it happened. I just came here. But anyway, I must introduce you to this shiny, awesome gem that the gold piece is the same design that's on your Deku shield. You got the Kokiri's emerald. This is the spiritual stone of the forest, now entrusted to you by me, the great Deku tree. Yea? The future depends on thee, Scatlink. Thou art courageous. Navi the fairy hopes Scatlink to carry out my will. I entreat thee, Navi. Goodbye. Live long and prosper. The curses are logical. And he wilts. Let's go to Hyrule Castle, Scatlink. Goodbye, great Deku tree. Rest in peace. We'll carve your memorial on your feet. Hey, Scatlink, what did you do? The great Deku tree, did he die? I heard a lot of coughing over there. How would you do a thing like that? That's all your fault. You mother... Well, the Deku tree passed away even though we tried to save him. He kind of pulled a joke move on us by making him go into the bowels of him to fight a parasitic arachnid known as Goma, just to give us courage to progress. Kind of a forced destiny that he thrusted upon us, but he had his good intentions at heart, sending a little kid into danger. The world is surely not gonna die from this, despite what Hyrule Historia says. In the next episode, we will leave the forest. And where the hell is Saria? Find out next time on The Chronicles of the Hero of Time in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I don't know where I'm going with this. See you guys next time.